Okay, hello, Alireza. So, please tell my
Michael.
audience about the plot of your film, the things you kill, and why they should see it.
Well, the film is a psychological thriller that tells the story of um, Ali, a translator and English professor whose mother dies uh, in questionable circumstances. What follows is a mindfuck of complicated human emotions that we all deal with it every day. So it's mundane, it's complicated, it's thrilling, and most importantly, it's a movie unlike anything else you have seen because it asks you to participate. This is not a movie to lean back and consume. This is a movie that you have to lean forward and ask, what the fuck happened? So if you are enjoying those kind of movie, this is your movie, The Things You Killed.
Oh, yes. I rewatched it yesterday. I've seen it twice now, and it is
Oh,
quite an
wow.
intense experience, yes. Um, Emotionally and maybe a little physically violent.
Yes, it's a demanding film. You know,
But I don't mean like gratuitously or senselessly, very intelligently and psychologically, as you said.
I think it's a. If you are a fan of David Lynch movies, if you like Burning by Lee Chong Dong, if you remember works of Louis Buñuel that touched you, probably this movie is up your alley,
I think
right?
that's safe to say. So I'm curious,
Yeah.
when you wrote the scripts, what were the when you just started it? What were the first
Mm.
things you wanted to make sure this movie included?
The first scene I wrote was the conversation in the garden between the gardener and Ali. That was the first scene I wrote. When I was writing it, I was like, I like these two people. This self-negotiation, this banter, this humor has so much potential for violence. So, and soon I realized I'm dragging my own stories in it because this is a lot of it based on truth. I haven't killed my father, thankfully. No, not yet. But mm, that's what drew me to this because there was a lot of personal stories in this. And at heart, I'm a cinephile. I love playing and pushing the cinema to its edge to see, okay, where can I go with this, right?
Oh yes, and I've seen it in person as well. You do live on the edge. We'll get to that in a little bit, though. When you're writing the scripts, how many hours a day are you dedicated to the page?
I usually, when I write about an hour and a half in the morning per day for about 2 months. But this is after usually 2 or 3 years of development. For 2 and 3 years, I'm working on a 10 page. That 10 page takes a long time.
How
But
long
once
does it
I,
how long does it take?
for this movie, it took around 4 years.
Wow, wow.
Once I had it, then about 2 months to have the first draft, and then there was a lot of rewriting. I love rewriting. I'm not the kind who writes one draft and it's amazing. No, the first draft is requires a lot of, and we wanted to make a film that because it functions on a twist, and a lot of movies with twist dies right after first watch. And we wanted to build a movie that on the second watch holds, on the third watch opens up. Like, so we needed Easter eggs everywhere, a movie that has a twist but doesn't function on the twist, right? So this took a lot of rewriting for us. I think overall 4 years and something was dedicated to the writing, but I kept rewriting during the financing as well. Overall, took about 8 years to finish the film.
Good grief! You got to be committed to get a movie
I
done,
think
right?
there is a madness in me and every filmmaker. I think they should have that insanity to commit to a piece of story And it's not, you cannot commit if you think it's only my story, right? If there is a story that you see other people read it and it brings tears to their eyes, it breaks their hearts, they see a bit of their father in it, a bit of their mother in it, then you have the energy to go on for 8 years. Otherwise, 2 years later, you're, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right. Okay. So I think one question people might have is that this was Canada's submission to the Best International Film category at the Oscars, but it's a
Yeah,
movie made in Turkey. So
yeah.
how the heck does that work?
The question I think is who is Canadian? What is Canadian, right? Uh, Canada have, for a very long time, have had immigration policy because they needed cheap labor, well-educated cheap labor, and they have a point system for it. And for a long time, we told the newcomers, we want your cheap labor, but not your stories. Doesn't work that way. We come with the stories to tell because the stories that are inside us shapes who we are in the outside world. So by choosing this film, Canada finally stepped forward to say Canada is enriched by all the stories that are brought to the table. So I had a lot of calls from the BIPOC filmmakers who thought this will never happen in Canada. So I congratulate Telefilm for finally opening up that door for all of us. And I was lucky to be the first.
Yes, I'm a little perplexed, but I see the logic, and more most
Why
importantly,
are you
I like the
perplexed?
movie. I like the movie. At first, I was
Why are you
perplexed because
perplexed?
I was watching this movie and it's like I don't see any. I see a movie in another country, and this is like Canada's submission. So once you explain it to me,
If it
now I
was if it
understand.
was if it was a
Now I
French movie, would
understand.
you be perplexed?
If it was what?
If it was shot in France, would you
Yes,
be
I would be
perplexed?
perplexed. Yeah, I would.
Really?
Yeah.
So if something is shot in Canada is Canadian?
That was just my simple understanding, but you explained it to me, and now I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean
It's
this
just
this is a good question
initially there's like a question, and then you just have to listen to the answer.
because I have been getting this question quite a lot. And then my question is, for example, a lot of Americans come here to shoot stories in Toronto, faking it for New York. Is that a Canadian story because they shot it here, right?
These
So
it's a good question.
I think we have to open up. Who are we as a country, right?
Oh
We
yes,
are no longer only, uh, a group of colonizers who came here and committed a genocide and started a country. We are far from that now. We are we are open to the world in ways that very few countries are.
which is a
And
good
with
thing.
that,
We're better because we're a pluralistic society.
therefore, we have to embrace the narratives that comes with these people who come here to help us build the country, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And what you were saying about cheap labor is a solid point as well. Uh, in the past
That was
and in the present and in the present.
I mean,
Um,
today we are still having immigration,
oh
yearly
yes.
immigration based on point system. You have to be well educated, you know, and certain categories has more points because you have labor to offer to this country, right? These people come here trained by another country, paid. These educations are not cheap, right?
Okay, so I wanted to talk about Canada's top 10. I was there
Yes,
in the ceremony, and you took some
yes.
shots. So please recap what you said for my audience.
Uh, Toronto International Film Festival is the biggest institution of showing films in Canada. And I firmly believe that they have a responsibility toward Canadian stories, toward nurturing our stories and not just being a display for the American films. What I see is Toronto for the past 10 years I've kind of forgotten that responsibility toward Canada, you know. Um, and what I said during the ceremony was a way of pushing back and opening a line of dialogue between filmmakers and the institution, right? Some people say, oh, that was controversial. No, it's a dialogue. We are filmmakers, right? We open a line of dialogue. And yes, a lot of people are not willing to talk because they're making a film and TIFF can select them or deselect them. There is an inherent power dynamic that TIFF has over the filmmakers, you know. Uh, but I just opened the line of dialogues, and a lot of filmmakers have reached out, and I've appreciated the open communication and the transparency, you know. At the end of the day, they wouldn't exist without us, right? We are here and we demand attention to Canadian stories. We are
Okay,
who we are because of the stories we tell about this land.
certainly. Okay, and I also met one of your students at TIFF last year, and I
Yeah.
told him, "Oh, well, you got to listen to this guy. His movie's fantastic." So, what are you trying to instill in your students that might be a little different than other teachers?
I don't know if it's other different than other teachers or not, but what I try to show them is they have to look in the mirror and they have to learn to tell their own stories, right? The stories we own, what is in my heart. Yes, it's very easy to copy another TV show from US or another mainstream movie from US, but what about you, right? A second generation Jamaican who have been here, a fourth generation Irish who have grown up in Montreal, right? So what are those stories? What is the stories of -30 in winter, right? That's why I was meant, I mean, we had a conversation in it. That's why I think heated rivalry in a funny way is us, is our stories.
I love it.
That's what I'm trying to open that conversation with the young audience.
What's the best piece of advice you have received as a filmmaker?
The best piece of advice I've received as a filmmaker is, oh wow, what a question. Uh, don't lie to yourself.
I love it.
Don't
Okay,
lie to yourself.
don't lie to
Anyway,
yourself. I can. I think you embodied that, and I
yeah.
love it, and it's great. And people can agree or disagree, but you put it out there, and we can take it from there, and we're all better from it, I believe. One more question:
Okay.
what is a lesson in storytelling you believe the things you kill has in it?
Um, don't be afraid to break the rules. Break, not rules, formulas. There is space. That's the lesson I think is a good example from the things you kill. We broke out of formulas and we still landed on our feet.
Okay, well we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you giving me a chance to chat and have a candid conversation.
Okay, my pleasure.